Hello, welcome to Sports Unplugged. It's a new lineup. It's just me and Luke today. How you doing, mate?
Hey, I'm doing well, thank you. How about you?
I'm all right. I'm all right. So kept away this week. So it's just me and Luke. So we can be mischievous because Kev's the one that keeps us in line, isn't he?
Yeah,
So,
that's true. Kev keeps a tight ship.
He does. It's all going to go downhill after this, isn't it? So listen, look, Sports Unplugged. So today we're going to do a bit of UFC chat, which I say we. Luke's going to educate me in UFC because let's be honest, I don't know what I'm talking about with UFC. So apart from when it's Ngannou fighting, that's about the only thing I know. And then we'll do a bit of transfer chat, and then obviously we're going to get you guys to join us a bit more and give us your suggestions of subjects you want to talk about, things that have happened in sport, just general things, and we can talk about them. And Luke's playing with his dog toy, so
I'm not the one.
Right, while Luke tries to sort his dog out. So before we start anything else, just a bit of sad news, unfortunately, which we need to start off with. We'd like to pass on our condolences and thoughts to the family of Rachel Ellis. For those of you who don't know, Rachel Ellis was a Liverpool fan who used to travel home and away watching the men's teams, the women's teams, and to be honest, I used to watch the academies. I've met Rachel a couple of times at the women's games. She was a lovely lady, really, really enthusiastic about the Reds. Unfortunately, she passed away earlier this week. So from obviously me, Luke, and the Trippers, just like to pass on her condolences to her family and and wish her well. So, but before Luke's back.
I'm back.
We'll just talk about Rachel. So, just so you know, I didn't know Luke. It's the Women's Euro start next week. Next Wednesday.
Yeah, the Women's Euro starting next week, and I'm part of the sweepstake for it. And my team was Germany in the sweepstake.
I'll look at the bets because I think Germany weren't too bad in the betting odds actually. I think they were quite good.
I watch a bit of women's football, but I'm not a massive follower in it. So I asked, are Germany one of the favourites? So have I got a good chance of winning? And someone put, you might have an outside chance. And I was like, that's good enough for me.
So outright. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4. They're fifth.
They're the fifth favourite. I think England won tonight like 5-1.
They were playing Holland, who were third favourites. England are second favourites. Spain are the favourites, which is no real surprise because Barcelona and Real Madrid are very, very strong in women's football.
Yes.
And France, who are fourth favourites, are also very strong because Lyon are the current reigning Champions League champions, knocking Barcelona out in the final. So it's quite good. So the first game is this Wednesday. England in the opening game against Austria. I'm actually going to that with my little one, so that'll be quite interesting. Apart from that, the only unfortunate thing is that Old Trafford, but crosses you have to bear. And then the final is on Sunday, the 31st of July in Wembley, which I have luckily already got tickets for. So I've actually not, and this is not me being an overexcited England fan said, we'll get to final. I literally booked it because I thought you don't get to go to a international European fan very often. I mean, you never get to go to a men's one, so I actually don't really care who's in the final. It'd be just quite a good game to watch.
England women to win it because it'd be funny if they win one first.
Yeah, they're also a lot more likable as well.
Oh yeah, that's not that difficult.
No, it's not very difficult. I mean,
it's not difficult at all.
No, when you're looking at Harry Kane and Harry Maguire, it's enough to put you off in it, really. So
and then Southgate in charge of the waistcoat, but
yeah, there is that. I mean, the women actually now have a manager who knows what they're doing, who isn't Phil Neville, which is always a good thing. Shock horror, yeah. Who knew
it? England team has a manager who knows what they're doing.
Yeah,
thought it was a good idea to let them in. Wow.
I know. Do you know it's really bad? Her name is cases. She used to be the manager of the Dutch national side as well. So, but yeah, from what I've seen, results wise, she's doing really good. So quite excited. There aren't really any Liverpool players, unfortunately, in the England side, sadly.
Maybe next
time. But there are a couple in Belgium side and in the Northern Ireland side as well. Rachel Finesse, who's doing very well for them. So, fingers crossed, who is now the all-time leading goal scorer for Northern Ireland, which is always good. So while I try and get me breath back, because I managed to speak there without breathing in, which is quite impressive. UFC, come on, educate me. What is it? A big UFC, or is it a fight, or is it like when the fight night?
It's a fight night this week. The big UFC card is going to be next weekend, but this weekend, it's I think journalists dubbed it like the worst card name value ever. Because it was 2 top 15 ranked lightweights that no one really has heard of. and I was like, that's a bit disrespectful to say like they're the worst the worst main event name wise because no one's really heard of them. Because this is what the fight nights are really about for the UFC. Because this one's going to be in the Apex, which is pretty much behind closed doors, with a few hundred fans in it.
Laura Duffy has said being more likable is a very low bar. I mean, to be fair, that's where England men are.
Yeah,
to be honest, they also play nice football as well, which also helps. But anyway, back to UFC.
Yeah. So the fight nights are usually like fighters that are on the cusp of making it onto that main card in front of the big crowd, and usually there are a couple of fights on it that are people are like, okay, these are good fights. The rest of them most of them make their debuts in the UFC. But there are a couple of good fights this weekend. The co-main event is probably the standout one, and that's UFC veteran Neil Magny versus rising up-and-comer Shavkat Razmanov.
Okay.
Yeah, and he's 15-0 at the moment. I think he's had 3 fights in the UFC, 3 finishes. I think he's 15 wins, 15 finishes. So if he beats Neil Magny, he'll just be outside the top 10 at welterweight, and that division is pretty much it's a pretty deep division full of contenders. So should he get a win, he'll be 2 fights away from fighting for the title. So that's pretty interesting. And then we've got Khabib's cousin fighting on the card. He's undefeated as well, and he's fighting. I think he's fighting a Brit, or is he fighting an American? I think he's fighting an American. Khabib's cousin.
Red Stevens' point. Worst card name value is surely Sports Unplugged with Kev. I think he means first. He means without Kev. To be fair, he's got a point. You got to love Red Steve, haven't you? He has got a point.
I love Red Steve. Yeah. So that fight with Umar Nurmagomedov versus Nate Harness is going to be a great fight, and that's around it. Most of them are making their debuts. I've not really heard.
We knew what you meant. We knew what you meant, Red Steve. I can't imagine you paying us.
Most of the fighters on that card. So apart from a couple.
Christ, mate, if you've not heard about them, I've got no chance to tell you.
Yeah, and that's it really. Yeah, it's sort of like a warm up for next weekend.
So it's not one stay up to 3 a.m. for then. It's best wait for the next one. So give us a bit of a preview. What's the plan for the UFC for next week? Where is it?
Next week, I will probably do a preview of Callum, probably early hours of the morning, probably, and then me and him will do a watch long next weekend, providing he's available. I know I'll be available, but I need to check if he's going to be available.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Bonkers also points out it's Money in the Bank as well, so got to look out for that as well.
I think there's another big wrestling event on this weekend.
Forbidden Door. UFC,
which looks great.
And UFC New Japan. Unfortunately, a lot of the big stars they wanted to do for these matches are all injured.
Are all injured. All injured, and plus I think the build's been slightly botched for the whole build-up.
Also, though, although we all know wrestling's predetermined. It's kind of theatre, isn't it? That's the kind of the way it's done. But it is unusual. You don't normally get 2 rival companies working together to do a bit of a super show, all that. So it'll be interesting. At least
I think other companies have done it before. Ring of Honor did it with New Japan, Super Card of Honor.
Yeah, I think getting a big American wrestling organization is difficult. Because if you got being not sure it's Ring of Honor on the totem pole, they're probably 3rd. If they don't get the views, they're not WWE, and they don't get the views.
Actually, I'd say Ring of Honor is probably 4th behind Impact Wrestling, but AEW have bought Ring of Honor because of I think Tony Khan, who actually owns Fulham. His dad owns Fulham as well. Fulham Football Club.
The guy was Jaguars, isn't it?
Yeah, I think there's rumored to be a pay-per-view at Craven Cottage at some point in the next year, 2 years. So if that does happen, I'll make another trek down to London and I might go and watch it.
Can you just make sure you book your hotel in the right sort of vicinity?
Yeah, I'll make sure I book the hotel in the right place.
Because didn't you book your hotel near Wembley, even though it was at the O2?
No, I booked it near the O2, and it was near Wembley.
It's about an hour's train ride.
When I rang Callum off the train, he was like, Yeah, do you know it's near Wembley? I was like, for sakes. I booked it near the O2. And I tried to ring the Premier Inn because there was one near Wembley, but no one picked up the phone, so I had to. Yeah, that was a nightmare. That was FA Cup final weekend as well.
Laura Duffy's getting close to comment of the night. Smash the like button like UFC fighters smash each other in the face. I know we don't ask for likes, but sure, that comment just tickled me.
Yeah, that's a great comment as well.
Yeah. So, what was the big fight? So, who's your money for the big fight then?
Big fight. What, for next week? Or
yeah, not this week, because from what you told, you don't know. You don't know who half the fighters are. So,
Israel Adesanya to retain.
Right.
I feel like we're going to get his best performance. I feel like his last fight wasn't great. I don't think it's his fault. I just think he's bored of fighting the same guy again. So it's someone new for him to fight. So that'll be good. And I think, controversially, I think Volkanovski is going to beat Max Holloway. And I think he's going to beat him decisively on points. And then we can end this trilogy. And then he can move on to then, hopefully, fingers crossed, he fights Charles Oliveira end of the year for the vacant belt. And Volkanovski can have a chance at being double champ. Because I just not want to see Khabib's mate fight the belt because he does not deserve it.
Okay. Right, before we move on to transfer chat, so go on, guys, put your comments in and let us know if there's other stuff you want to talk about. Rico63, good to have you back in the chat. We haven't seen for a little while. Rooney resigns. What next for him? Yeah, that got announced probably a couple of hours ago. He'd resigned from Derby.
Announced today, I think.
Yeah, a few hours ago. It's only a few hours ago. But is that? I haven't read the statement. So is that because the takeover's not happening, or is that to aid the takeovers? They could put their own people in charge.
I think it must have been a combination of everything at that club. Yeah, I think there was a guy that was meant to take over.
I don't
take over.
I don't relegate. I mean, form-wise, he actually did quite well. Quite a thin squad.
If he didn't have the point deduction, they would have finished like 7 points out of the playoffs. If they didn't have the points.
When you look how thin that squad is, it's an impressive. It's an impressive. It'd be interesting to look at where he goes next. There's always that loom of
if Lampard doesn't start well at Everton,
correct. That story's going to rumble. It writes itself, doesn't it?
Or Ten Hag doesn't get a good start at Man U.
I don't think he goes to Man U only because I think he'd want a step up from the Championship, or either higher Championship, lower end Premier League, before to prove your worth.
He's actually surprised me. He's actually surprised me. I thought he'd be utter useless. I thought it would be like, ex big name. He thinks he can cut it as a manager, but then when it gets to the nitty gritty, he doesn't. But he's actually really surprised. He's finally matured.
Yeah, he's been quietly impressive. I think so.
Those Derby players got signed by Palace.
Mm.
The striker and the winger that was Man U was after rejected Man U to go to Palace, which was always fun to see.
I mean, Palace is becoming a bit of the place to go now. If you're
a
young, exciting player, you want to step up from the Championship to the Premier League. Palace seems to be the place to go. It seems they have a nice mix there with Eze and Aloisi.
Elise,
the striker who's never because of them. Mateta, who always looks brilliant when he plays. Actually, his name does not stick in the end. But when I see him play, I'm like, oh no, he's one. He's a
handful. He's a handful up front.
Yeah. He's one you hope gets injured. Before you play them, you're like, oh, he's got a niggle. Oh, that's unfortunate. Deep down thinking, thank Christ, he's not playing. Just causes you problems. Rooney
would get another Championship job. It'd be interesting to see who gets sacked first next season. His name will be instantly linked.
I think so. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. So beyond merit as well, though, because I think he at least that's somebody who's dropped down. And I'm trying to think who else has moved. I know Harry Kewell's moved to Celtic as a first team coach.
That probably is the best move for him because his managerial record was a bit up and down.
It has been up and down. I mean, to be fair, he's it's been a lot of League One, League Two clubs, which look,
I
you
think
can cut your teeth.
didn't he manage Notts County for like half a
Yeah.
season, and then they didn't start off well? Then Notts County went down to the National League.
I think so. Yeah. So he's that's it. He's not good for the big jobs. That's in a nice way. He's not like Lampard or walked into just a big job because of who your name is. So
I knew that was going.
Yeah, I mean, you could give Gerrard that a little bit. Jump from managing kids to managing the Rangers. It's a hell of a job. He did very well there, but if his name wasn't Steven Gerrard, I don't think he gets that look in. But you look at Cooper, who's brought Forrest up.
Yes.
He's had to cut his teeth accordingly. Did a lot of youth football. I think he won the World Cup with the under-18s for England.
Under-17s, didn't he, with England?
Yeah. They did really well with. He did really well with Swansea, and then he went to. And then he took Forrest over, and the Forrest job wasn't an easy job.
No, Forrest was a mess.
I know.
Forrest was a mess, and he's done really, really well.
Yeah. So. Good. There you go. Lord Duff reckons Harry Kewell's last job was at somewhere like Barnet. So that's So I wonder if
that wouldn't have surprised me,
Yeah.
So
you never know. Yeah. So you wonder if him. He wants to do a bit of a Michael Beale. Do a couple of years as number 2, pick up Michael Beale's an excellent coach who just needs his opportunity. I think for Kewell, maybe he just wants to learn under a couple of other managers to pick up new tricks, pick up new training methods, new ways of thinking, without the pressure of being the manager, and then you look for your next manager job. Because it'll be interesting how Michael Beale does, because within football world, he's highly thought of as a coach.
Yeah,
so this is his first manager job.
Like Gerrard's brain. Do you know how you got the Klopp and Buvac? Buvac brains behind the operation. That was
the first thing Gerrard.
Michael Beale was.
It's first thing Gerrard did, wasn't he? Since he went to Rangers, it was I want Michael Beale. That was his, his number 2. That's who he wanted. So that's clearly, he clearly got a thing. So
very interested to see how he does at QPR.
Very interesting. Yeah, there's a couple of QPR fans I follow on social media. They all seem quite excited by him. Quite exciting young manager. I think they're hoping he does well there. So
I think Mark Warburton has been announced on West Ham's coaching staff. So that got announced today as well. So he's going to be in David Moyes' backroom.
So I've always put Kewell had a terrible Barnet. So I know how much it matter. I was like, oh dear. He did have a terrible Barnet, though, didn't he? That weird double ponytail thing he tried to pull off.
Oh my days.
It didn't really work. It didn't really work.
Less said about that, the better.
I know. You wish it would disappear sometimes, didn't you?
What, like you mean like IPVanish?
Oh, look at that! It's been worse fun. There we go. It only took 6 weeks, and you finally got one of these terrible puns. Red Steve's doing his nutting now over this. So, for those who don't know, if you're browsing online using incognito, it doesn't actually protect your privacy. What you need to do is get yourself a VPN. So, IPVanish VPN is easy and keeps you truly secure on the internet. So, it protects all your personal details, passwords, communications, browsing history, and basically completely shielded from any undesirables, which is kind of what you want, really. So these guys are rated 4.6 out of 5 on Trustpilot. And if you get an IPVanish, you can use it on any device, whether it's computer, tablet, phone, at home, or in public, and it doesn't impact your speed. And the offer they're giving you guys is 70% off their yearly plan with 30-day money-back guarantee. So you're basically getting 9 months for free. If you want to take up the offer, details are in the description below, and just go to ipvanish.com/daytrippers. There we go. Cool. Look at that. Avo says seamless. Laura Duffy, well done, Luke. I've got to admit, it's the only thing I was worried about. There's no Kev today. How am I going to get this IPVanish link in? Red Steve. No. We're Bracky Luke practicing this before the shot. You're joking, aren't you? Do you think this is pre-rehearsed? I did say so. I mean, to be fair, Luke did say, "What's your pun gonna be?" And I went, "I just haven't thought of one yet." So I was like, "I haven't thought of one yet." So good luck. Make
sure you're paying attention.
Cool. So it's been a bit transfer window wise. It's starting to pick up a bit for Liverpool. We're done for the summer. So
business is done for Liverpool. Yeah, it's done. We're just getting rid of players now.
3 in, loads of players going out. Sorted. But looks like Calvin Phillips is going to City. I think with installments
£42
going up,
million, I think, rising to
rising
50.
to 4. Yeah, rising to 50. And there's a young. Oh God, your dog's not impressed with that deal. And there's a
players
young
going to Leeds.
Yeah, to five
in
for 5
separate
million.
deal,
And
I
it's
think.
separate deals, but it's a bit like when we swap Kev Stewart for Robertson. Separate deals, but same thing.
Yeah.
Interesting move because your gut feeling is, he's not going to replace Rod. He's not going to oust Rodri. But then I wonder, does it give them a bit more of a tactical flexibility to go a bit more 2 DMs, 4-2-3-1, maybe more for latter stages of Champions Leagues? So for example, the Real Madrid game, if it happened again, you have a bit more of a defensive commitment, and also there's still talk Gundogan might be going on his way. Plus, maybe they also think it gives a chance to rest Rodri while he's not
Rodri,
near
because let's be honest,
he's not as good as
Fernandinho back end
Fernandinho
of the season. You could tell that his legs were gone. I'm surprised how cheap they got him. £42 million for a English international. Arguably, you'd say he's in his peak years as well, age 26.
Injury records.
If that was like any other club, you're probably paying 50, 60. The fact that City's just gone, we'll pay 42, which is probably under market value. I think that might have helped the fact that he's been injured for half the season for Leeds. It is very interesting because when you look at him as a player,
John was saying to me, it's called squad depth. Yeah, we've just said that. It is a squad depth option. We're just trying to say tactically what he's doing. He does give him a tactical switch as well. John was saying apparently Liverpool couldn't spend 40 million on Phillips. So I don't think he couldn't.
I think it's the profile. I just
Klopp
don't think he plays more of that anchor role.
Does Klopp want him? I mean, there is an argument we could do with another number 6 to give Fabinho, so we can rest Fabinho. Or the other flip, the other flip for me is you tell Fabinho and Henderson to take your turns being number 6, so you can rest one or the other, and you bring another more attack-minded midfielder to again give you something else.
Something different to Rodri as well, because Phillips has got a much better long passing game than he has got a short passing game, and to play in that deep line role for City, he'll need to improve his short passing game a lot. But whereas it could help unlock Rodri to push Rodri further forward, because Rodri chipped in with 7 goals, I think, this season. So.
And the way we obviously all these tweak it's like different, but I think Fabinho is required to do a lot of work. And again, my only worry with Phillips is his injury record. How much of playing for Leeds has really took it out of him, because
the Bielsa style as well.
The Bielsa style, that's a hard style.
I think before the season just gone, he played majority of the games. I think it was only this season where he missed like a large majority of the season. Maybe, as you said, the style did catch up with him in the end. And I think every time he got close to getting back fit, Leeds were like, "Yeah, we need him, so you're going to play."
Yeah, so he rushed back, which he would be
down the end. Did the same with Bamford.
Yeah, because he wouldn't be rushed back at City, would he? Realistically, he wouldn't need to. No. As Laura said, it gives City another homegrown option, which is true. I don't know if they have a homegrown issue, but we'll see what they say from there. So let's see. And so it's probably either Gundogan or Silva. Yeah, the Silva talk still. I mean, there's talk Silva's been wanting to leave for a couple.
If Man U could pull a finger out the rear ends to get Frankie de Jong, I think that could accelerate a few moves for Barcelona, like Lewandowski, Bernardo Silva. I think you're just waiting for Man U to pull the finger out.
Possibly. We'll move on to Man United, because there's 3 players they've been sort of heavily linked with. One is De Jong. Talk is, another offer is going in. Like I say, we'll find if it's true, but what they're offering, what Barcelona are offering, are still quite a bit apart. So he's a very, very good player. De Jong. Barcelona thing hasn't quite worked out for him, but I think that's more to Barcelona being a basket case. Yeah, it is, because he was great for Ajax. I still think he's a really, really good player. And then the other 2 is there's heavy talk now that Christian Eriksen, it's either United or Brentford he's going. Eriksen, again, it replaces the Mata experience.
Yeah,
obviously he's younger as well. Gives him something from dead ball specialist. It's just whether he's happy to be a squad option, because he's not going to start week in, week out for United, or if he wants to start every week for for Brentford. It's an interesting one.
I really want him to stay at Brentford. I just feel like that it's a better fit for him to be at Brentford, to play week in and week out. But yet again, we don't know what his situation is with his heart. Maybe he doesn't want to play week in, week out anymore. Maybe he doesn't want that squad option. And at United, he's going to be paid a lot of money. A lot of money. We know Man U like to whip out the checkbook to give him the wages. And it does replace that Mata experience. But United still need a defensive midfielder. Having a midfield of De Jong.
They've got McFred. What more do you want?
Oh, Fred, you've seen McTominay images going around of him looking like he spent the whole summer in the gym, and Man U fans are going, yeah, he's going to be back next season. He's gonna drive our midfield, and you're thinking, God, they never learn, do they?
No,
he's going to be the saviour.
To give him a shoe. I actually thought second half of the season Fred did all right when they played a bit more.
I thought
forward. He was basically not as a DM, because he's not a DM.
He's a box midfielder.
Yeah, and he's more effective. So that's the. We'll have to see. John has also pointed out Jesus has gone to Arsenal, which is good for Arsenal because they need strikers. They can't rely on Enquiries to do it all for it. It'd be interesting. Do they do Jesus down the middle? Is that what they promised him, or are they going to use him as a wide? Like City did. City used him a lot wide right. That's kind of where they used him really. So
45-50 million, I think. The price is going to be.
I think that would be an interesting wage. Look, it gives them an option. They need attackers. The talk is, we'll come to Raphinha. There's a bit of a bum fight for Raphinha at the moment, understandably. But look,
good player.
Yeah. Also, Arsenal need to pad that squad out, because that squad they had.
Yeah, they got Europe.
They're small as yet, and they got Europe, so it'll be interesting. And then Newcastle have pretty much done Botman today.
Finally got the Sven Botman deal over the line. Obviously, Fabrizio, the king of the tapping, as now recently he's been known as, and he's just tapped in the Botman news over the line. Yeah, Botman looks like he's done. I think Botman's been linked with Newcastle since January this year. I think it's a great bit of business. He plays in the same position as Dan Burn, plays that left-sided centre-back role. So that probably means Dan Burn's going to, probably take a seat on the bench.
Let's try the wild thing of playing two left-sided players in the centre back. For some reason, it doesn't really happen very often.
It doesn't happen much because everyone moans about, oh, you can't have two left-sided centre backs.
But you have two right-sided ones.
It's something about having a left footer. It's like everyone's like, oh, okay, that's odd. You can't have too many of them.
Yeah, Van Dijk and John Terry, both right footers, but prefer the left.
Yeah,
sometimes it's a bit of a strange one. They also had Nick Pope for 10 million.
Oh, that's a steal. £8 million for Nick Pope.
10, wasn't it?
I think.
Was it right then? Well, look, Newcastle needed a decent goalkeeper for a while. Dubravka, he's all right. The other two lads, no. That's a good move. It's a good move for Pope, and I think it's a good move for Newcastle.
Yeah, especially when apparently Nottingham Forest got quoted 40 million by Burnley for Nick Pope when Forest's keeper announced that he wanted to go back to France. I think Nottingham Forest got quoted 40 million, and now Newcastle got him for a quarter of the price, which is mental.
Yeah, so fair enough. More Kenyan consort will put 1 billion into the stadium and fund available transfers for the new owners. Is this the new Everton? Because that's the other thing. Is Everton are apparently up for sale, aren't they?
Are they?
Apparently so. Yeah. Apparently they're
money.
they've been bringing people around that. So again, is this because of the ties of husband off? Because obviously you can't have anyone with a Russian connection connected to your club. So be an interesting one. Again, I mean, it's good that they'll make sure the stadium's got built and invest in a transfer market for it. But again, at the moment, Everton are in a big FFP tightrope.
Yeah, they've got to make sure that they balance the books because they've been.
Which is why the talk is they're trying to sell for Richarlison. I mean, it's 40-50 million. The talk for Richarlison. So because then the talk is they want Everton want Harry Winks. Tottenham apparently want 20 million for him. 20 million. Apparently Everton wants him on loan with an option to buy.
Yeah.
So that's a deal that's got a long way to go. But Harry Winks is a solid player, but the talk is Everton want a defensive midfielder. I don't think that's Harry Winks.
Yeah, Harry Winks is more of. It's not a defensive midfielder. It's not a box to box. He's just like
Bit of a Joe Allen.
Yeah, just a bit of a Joe Allen. Just
Bit of
does
a
a bit
Joe
of
Allen,
everything. Doesn't do it particularly well, but
yeah. So he is an interesting one. And then back to Arsenal. They also signed a midfielder. Do you remember those things where you could sign midfielders? Great. Fabio Vieira, who was once linked with
Fabio
Liverpool. So of
Vieira.
course, like you imagine, social media being what it is, everyone went berserk because Liverpool didn't bid for a player that we didn't bid for.
I think he made like 20 league starts last season, which isn't a lot.
Yeah, he's highly thought of, isn't he?
Part.
Yeah, he's very highly thought of, though, isn't he? So, but again, is he what Arsenal need?
Probably not, because he's another. He's going down the Wenger route of buying like another slight attacking midfielder, plays in the same position as Odegaard. Is it a position that they needed to strengthen? Maybe, but was it a priority?
Maybe
probably not.
Odegaard, Smith Rowe, and this guy. You rotate between the three of them. Only play two of the three of them in Prem in Europe. Maybe that's why. Plus, there is that gaping issue of Pepe, which I'm assuming they're going to try. I assume he's going
to try and flog
because he just doesn't. He doesn't get picked, does he? So, but the big transfer saga it seems to be at the moment is Raphinha. So, Arsenal have had apparently a bid turned down for him. I believe Tottenham have looked at him, but again, I think
Chelsea have looked at him,
and Chelsea are looking at him. So,
but he wants to go to Barcelona.
But he wants to go to Barcelona.
Yeah,
but Barcelona haven't got any money until they sell De Jong.
And Barcelona can't sell De Jong until United, basically, which United will pay the asking price eventually. They're not in the position where they're going to negotiate that price down at all. They're going to pay the asking price in the end.
Yeah, but I wonder if that's what United are trying to change. Is for years, everyone have known if you hold out long enough, they'll pay and they'll pay big. And that's always the thing that
with Maguire, they tried to hold out, and then they just ended up paying the 80 million.
Yeah. Whereas, I mean, look, it doesn't always work, but Liverpool, to the credit Muggs have sort of played this bluff game and gone, that's our figure, take it or leave it. And Liverpool have been willing to leave it. To see what happens.
To walk away,
yeah. So, which is, look, between you and me, that's what I think is happening with Chamberlain. I don't think we mind if Chamberlain goes, but you just don't tell the world that.
We don't mind if he particularly stays, but I do feel like that we do want him to go because
I think wants to go
since Nottingham Forest, which means he's probably had a disagreement with Klopp somewhere down the line.
Yeah, I just think the team's advanced beyond him, to be honest. That's just the way it is. But I think it's also then to stop people coming with silly offers like, oh, here's 5 million for... No, Chamberlain, they obviously have a figure that there'll be a number, which we'll never know what it is.
Yeah,
there'll be a number that will go, hit that number, he goes... Because the Alvarez pointed out the language used by Liverpool was interesting, but which was briefed out was, Liverpool don't want to be will only be forced back into the market if a midfielder leaves. It kind of says to me, which is it's kind of code for please we'll buy him and then we'll get him. And again, I don't think this is all buy to sell stuff, which I know gets everyone really upset. I actually think we're at the point. I think we're actually at the 25 player mark, as in. So I think we physically have to.
I think squad anyway.
I think we have to kick someone out to make physical room in the squad now. And if you don't, and you buy someone there and then try to kick him out, everyone knows you need to get rid of someone, which then means you got to let them go on the cheap. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see. Cool. So where do you think Raphinha goes then? What would you do if you were looking at Raphinha?
I think he goes to Barca in the end. I think with Arsenal, he's got a bit of a personality. He's got a bit of an attitude. And we saw what Arteta did with Aubameyang, and he just throws him out completely. So imagine with your brand new 65, I think it's going to cost around £65 million signing, and you fall out with him in the first 3 months. Are you going to freeze him out and then ship him off within the year later? Or are you going to have to put your ego aside to work with him and get the best out of him? So I don't think we'll go to Arsenal. I don't think he'll go to Chelsea either.
Just interrupt Laura Duffy. Haha. You could just record that little bit of dialogue for every Arsenal recruit. Is that who they need? Probably not.
Yeah.
It does feel that way. It's like, for years we kept saying to Wenger he needed to buy a centre half and and a centre mid. He just never
Go,
did.
what, another number 10? Yeah, go on.
Ball to number
Can he
10s
play
and
centre
wingers.
half?
So bless him. Chelsea, I mean, he's probably what Chelsea needs because the
He
talk
probably
is
starts for Chelsea, but I saw things that Thomas Tuchel wants to play him right wing back. I saw that and I was like, no, come on, that's got to be like a made up quote somewhere.
it must be.
Tuchel would love to play him right wing back. And I thought, no, he did it with Hakim Ziyech at points this season where he played right wing back against Brighton.
Well, the talk is Hakim Ziyech and Werner, they will listen to offers for, and Pulisic keeps getting linked with a move away. So
I think I saw something just now on Twitter that Chelsea are going to offer Werner plus money for Matthias de Ligt.
Oh, okay.
Which would be interesting. Can't see where he'd fit in though. And then obviously saw rumours of Neymar.
Centre back would be my guess where he'd fit in.
Yeah.
It's not what he is.
What?
De Ligt, he's funny. He's not really kicked on since Ajax. I mean, I've seen Milk turn quicker.
Neither of that Ajax side that got to the Champions League semi-final have any of them really kicked on since they left.
Probably not. No.
Van de Beek, De Ligt, Ziyech.
Wrong moves, maybe.
Wrong move, and big price tags. Think about De Ligt when he went to Juve was like, yes, he's going to be the guy. He's going to be the one that's going to push out Chiellini, Bonucci. He's Van Dijk's heir for Holland, and he's not he's played less than 30 league games a season since he's joined. He's not really managed to push any of them out. I think he'll get a starting berth now because I think one of them's gone to America. De Jong, the whole situation with Barcelona is just a mess. And Van de Beek, he spent 2 seasons sat on the bench.
And then he went to Everton. Oof.
Oh, fella. Yeah.
Lord Duffy, you've been really disappointed with how De Ligt has worked out. Yeah, because at the time, I thought that'd be a good move for him. So I thought, he'll learn off Chiellini, Bonucci. Do you know what? That's a great learning tree for a young centre-back. But it's interesting, there was some quotes from Chiellini about his agents saying, almost I think it's sort of hinted his agent just needs to wind his neck in and just let the lad concentrate on his football. So you wonder if his head's been turned again. So, Chiellini has gone to America as well. So if De Ligt goes as well, it's a bit of a rebuild job.
I do think Juve do want to get rid of him because I think there was something in his contract, next season, they need to pay him $200,000 a week. And he's got a big release clause as well. I think Juve just want to get cut ties. Don't particularly want to be paying him $200,000 a week if he's not really worked out. And plus, Chelsea are sort of desperate for centre backs as well.
We do need centre backs, don't they? The talk is that Emre Can had a similar deal, didn't he, at Juventus? Went the free from Liverpool, and after 2 seasons, they were pushing him on. And talk was his clause in his contract was year 3 he got a massive bumper pay up, and they didn't want to. I don't think they wanted to pay that level of money, so it must be just a thing they've got to do.
Yeah, and guess what? Now Juve are going to sign Pogba on a free, on reduced wages to what he was on at Man U. I think he'll be on about 250 at Juve.
Interesting how he works out there. That was the team that seemed to suit him, but obviously he hasn't got Pirlo and that around.
Yeah, the thing don't go back to a former club. So I'll be wondering, Juve's, that club's in just a transition as it is, really. The Pirlo experiment failed and Allegri's not really worked since going back.
Yeah. Bonkers points out Johnny Bairstow and it's not Craig Overton, it's his twin brother. The other Overton did a great partnership to get England 78 runs behind. I think when they came in, England was 55 for 5. And Overton's his first game for England's on, I think he's on 88, and Bairstow's on 120.
Having a batting collapse in the middle. Oh dear, what a shot!
No, the middle was fine. It's a top order when.
Oh. Do you know what? That doesn't surprise me at all because the top order for England either goes really well or really bad.
Yeah, I mean, to give them the credit, Trent Bolt, a couple of the guys that got us Trent Bolt, I'll be honest, they were just balls that no one would keep out. I think there's one I think he got the guy for LBW. I think, do you know what? He even said in comments, do you know if he gets his bats that, said he probably still nicks that out. He said because it's one of those balls you go, just unplayable. So he had a spell for half an hour where it's just like you weren't stopping anything. He was bowling as well. So give him the due. So, but that series has been very topsy turvy. Anyway, it's actually been quite entertaining, to be honest. I mean, I'm happy. I think I've had England are winning because they won the previous two, but they've both been like, day 3. I think we've lost this now. Then day 4, you're going, oh, we might nick this. It's been quite, it's been bit of an end to as cricket into cricket end to end. So it's been a good test match. Yeah, good test match. So it's what we need. PH, but we need a midfielder plus another winger. So okay, we have been linked with a midfielder very tentatively, which was Barella. But again, it's one of those very tentative links from random Twitter accounts and journalists that you're going to have no idea if that's a real person.
Klopp loves him.
Klopp loves him. I mean, Klopp loves a lot of players. He loves Ousmane Dembele, but we're not going to buy him.
Like he loves Kane, he loves Messi. He probably loves Lewandowski.
I think the talk for Barella is 6. It's probably around the 60 mark, isn't it? Maybe close to 70. I mean, the talk is that we're willing to pay up to 50, 60 for Tchouameni. So that sort of level of money you would think is there then, unless they talk on to Nunez, we don't know. But it's an interesting one.
You can't see
I get the thing we'll sign one more. I just don't think it'll be of a Barella level player. I think it'll just be
I don't
decent player.
Like, one, he's Italian, and
they don't have the greatest record.
They don't really have a great record crossing over into England.
I mean, the last 2 Italians we had were Aquilani and Desena. So we've been stung a little bit by.
Had Fabio Borini as well.
Oh yeah, do that's how bad he was. I forgot about him.
Oh,
yeah,
no.
He was pretty horrific. Daz TV's in the house. Hello, Daz. Good to see him. We need to get Daz on again. He was good fun. No, actually, last time we had Daz on, we lost the Champions League finals. Maybe we'll have him on again. I don't know. I'm not sure I can play the Champions League final lost in Daz. Maybe that's a bit harsh. I don't know.
No, just like I can't play it off on my partner not being in the house.
I must admit that thought did come to my mind when we'd lost again. I'm sure that's what you said as a jinx, which I was a bit fuming over.
Yeah, I literally told her next year if it happens, I'm either one going to Istanbul or 2 I'm watching
Laura Duff just said Dean Henderson went alone to Forest. I must have missed that.
Yes. Yes. So that deal has been agreed in principle that once he's come back from his honeymoon, he's going to sign for Nottingham Forest on loan.
Oh, fair enough.
It's going to be a great deal. And then United are going to sign Watford's first choice keeper as second choice instead of Tom Heaton, which is a bit odd. She's going to get Ben Foster back.
Back from Watford. Oh, he's garbage.
Exactly. So that's perfect for Man U.
Oh, brilliant! Yeah, he's absolute crap. He is. But for Dean Henderson, he needs to play regular football. Look, the Sheffield United move when he played there did him the world of good. Got him in the England squad. Got him around. And I wonder if he's thinking it's probably an England opportunity for him there. Because let's be honest,
but
Ramsdale and a few of the others. There's a few that don't feel.
I put Ramsdale, Pickford, and Dean Henderson all in the same boat. All in the same boat for me.
What?
Like neither's better than the other. They all got major flaws, and they all think that they are the best goalkeepers since sliced bread, and they're not. Yeah.
Don't think also for Pickford. Give devilish you. I actually thought he had a good season last year. I think he's the reason Everton stayed up.
Yeah.
I don't think if it wasn't for Pickford, I think they would have been relegated a lot sooner. I still think he's got crap footwork, which is why a lot of his shots look like Hollywood saves, and that's also Ramsdale has the same thing. And to be fair,
Dean Henderson's got the same thing.
Yeah, Shane Davern of Trippers fame also talks about me. Obviously, Shane has played League of Ireland as a goalkeeper, so to be fair, he knows what he's talking about with goalkeepers. And he says that's what the elite keepers are really good at is its footwork, which is why everything looks so easy, which is why we don't do as many Hollywood saves.
That's what the European goalkeepers like. Oh, they're not great. Where's the camera save? I was like, if you're making camera saves, something's wrong. You've done something wrong.
Or it's a great shot
with the footwork, or it's just a great shot that you've got to pull out the spectacular. But if you're having to do camera saves all the time, it's always footwork. That's the problem.
Very good. Cool. So we've covered Barella. We have covered him. Who else has been linked? Oh, the other one who's been linked to United, who, and this did cause a bit of a Twitter meltdown. Anthony, I think United just need to get linked with anyone who's from Ajax. It's just a thing now.
He's been linked with this whole team.
I know.
Linked with his whole team.
Bit like when Brendan Rodgers tries to buy the half of Swansea squad for Liverpool. It does.
Signed a clause saying he couldn't buy like half the team. He wanted like Ashley Williams, Scott Sinclair.
Oh, can you imagine?
I think he got away with just getting Joe Allen, and I was like, yeah, you can have Joe Allen, but keep your mitts off the rest of them.
Oh, little wee Joe. Bless him.
Yeah, it's a bit worrying that he wants half the team though. Like I think he was linked with Lissandro Martinez. Apparently, he might be going to Arsenal.
Yeah, Vaughan as well. We'll link with him. Yeah, another one. Obviously, he's no longer at Liverpool. Is Michael Edwards, who's been linked recently with both Chelsea and Man United. Which look,
I think it was linked abroad as well. I saw PSG, Bayern, not Bayern. So Real Madrid was on that list.
I saw Mel Reddy, who's now works at Sky, saying he just wants a break. I think he just wants a break from football. So it might be one of those ones he wants a year sabbatical and see what it is. I could see him doing the Chelsea thing because I wonder if it's starting a project against more of the appeal.
My money would be him Chelsea for next summer
because he built the Liverpool. He basically built the Liverpool recruitment structure. It's all in place now.
Hope Julian Ward knocks him out.
Yeah, but you put the systems in place. Who signs off what. I mean, the talk is, obviously, as much as we love to praise Michael, he doesn't do every deal. There are other people who do the deals for him, but the set parameters before an Edwards or a Julian Ward get involved. So maybe that's what he likes to do. It's almost like setting it up from the ground. Once it's up and running, maybe he's like, I don't
need to do as much.
I've done the main thing I want to do, so I want to go back and sell it again.
Yeah, possibly, yeah. Like Chelsea seems like the most ideal situation for him next summer.
James Stevens, new personal chat, says, "What about selling Matip and Bobby this window and getting some money in for the right winger?" I don't think we'd sell Matip because I think that's the best our centre back strength has looked.
I do feel like that. I think Bobby's he's going to have 3 years left or 2 years left this summer.
Matip, I can't 2 or 3.
Bobby, 2 or 3. If it's 2, I think we need to start considering: is it going to get whether or not he's going to get a new contract, or are we thinking about letting him go?
How old is he now? He's 30, 31?
30, 31.
So if you kept him for a year to go, 32, 33, might be the right time then. I'm talking Joe Gomez getting an extension. But the other thing is, touch wood, we're hoping last season is the norm now for Matip, where he's available 80% of the time. So I think this will be the test this season is, can we replicate that? Because if Matip's fit for 80% of the season, we've seen he's a really, really good player. Yeah. So, Bobby's an interesting. I don't think there's a market for him for money.
Yeah, I think
I think the injuries are catching up.
He's one of the ones where he'd probably go for free. Because out the front three, you'd think one signs, one gets sold, one goes on a free. And he was the one that was like, yeah, he's probably going to go on a free. I can't see anyone paying money for him.
Cool. And I'm going to bastardize this name because I can't pronounce it. Tayu Awanye of Academy fame for Liverpool, who's permanently on loan. Apparently, he's on his way to Forest for 17.5 million, and Liverpool have a 10% sell-on clause with him as well. Because the move to Germany did him the world of good.
Yeah, 20 goals and 5 assists in all competitions last season.
Yeah, so
pretty good.
I mean, of course, we have the usual hindsight brigade who say, well, "Why didn't he stay at Liverpool?" And we could have used that, but I think it's because he played regularly.
Sorted out.
Yeah, so we'll have to see. Apparently, Matip's contract expires in 2024. So
it's not too well.
So does really well except against us.
Yeah.
Here we go. Bonkers. You're into your fighting. Tommy Fury versus Jake Paul at MSG.
Okay, we're done. We're done now.
We're done now. I mean, to be honest, at least he's fighting an actual fighter who isn't retired, and he's probably similar-ish weight class.
He's picked someone who's a novice as well.
I know, but you can't have everything. I mean, lately he's been going for people who are retired, or he's been coming out Paddy Pimblett, who's like 6 stone lighter than him. oh yeah, great, I'll beat up Paddy Pimblett. Well, you're 6 stone heavy, you bloody should do. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a bit like find someone your own size and see how you get on. Fair play to him. Look, he's making money for himself, he's making a niche for himself, but celebrity boxing, it's not for me, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, don't care. I'd love for Jake Paul to get slept on the canvas.
I think that's what he plays for, doesn't he? I think he plays.
It's not going to happen. I think Tommy Fury's going to beat him on points. It's going to be boring. It's going to be dull. People are going to get ripped off for it.
Do you mean you? Because we'll get used to the watch along, eh? You're like, no, don't put me through this.
You have to pay for the pay-per-view because I'm not paying 25 quid for that. Because it's going to be 25 quid.
On. Oh, come on. God, where's your fun? Cool.
No way.
So any other deals? So the only other thing Liverpool related is the talk is Gomez and Keita. They're trying to sort their contracts out this summer.
Yeah, Gomez, I can understand. Naby Keita.
Klopp, it seems to be Klopp loves him. And let's be fair, when he's been fit this year, he's thrown him into a lot of big games. The only reason I thought he might not sign a big contract was there was a fitness doubt over Fabinho and Thiago, and he risked them both in the Champions League final. And this is not captain hindsight because, look, the midfield through it started is the midfield I would have started. So this is not me saying why it's just the event, but, Thiago had his little wobble, and at no point did you think Keita was coming on. And then he came on for like 10 minutes to go and
ballooned that shot over the bar. Depends how long the deal is.
But in a similar position, but then again, I suppose it's easy in hindsight, but in a similar position away to Atletico Madrid, he smashed it top corner. So,
Yeah, that's true.
It
depends on the length of the contract, whether or not he's going to get a long-term deal. He's already on a fair chunk of wage. I think he's like on 120, 140 a week, wage-wise.
It's not my money. I don't want to get too concerned about people's wages.
Yeah,
if the club offer them a contract and they sign it, then both parties are happy. So
as long as he's not getting like a massive pay rise. If he's getting a massive pay rise, then there'll be some questions that should be asked. Why is he getting a massive pay rise when this is probably the first season he's actually stayed fit for a majority of the season?
Yeah, good question by James Stevens. It's good to see some new names in the chat, actually. Will Klopp use Bobby as an attacking mid now? He could do. That could be one way of tweaking things up. I
think you could change system next season.
Yeah, but as Oscar from All Elite TV pointed out, if Liverpool do go to 4-2-3, well, we haven't got many players who can play number 10. Bobby can, but he hasn't played it for a while, and he keeps picking up a loss of injuries.
Carvalho,
but he's a kid. Jones isn't a 10. He's a centre mid, or he's left of that 3 behind. And it's the same, right to the 3 behind. So we don't really have many number 10-ish types. Thiago did play number 10, but I mean, that was in his early buying days. Well, that's a long time ago. So
yeah, that's a long time ago.
Exactly. It's not that he can't play. It's just that it's not a position he plays. There's probably reasons to play anymore. So,
maybe Harvey Elliott.
Maybe, but again, I don't think he's got the discipline to play there yet, especially off the ball. I think that's where Harvey needs to do some work this summer. Yes. Off the ball defensive work needs improvement. I think he's got the right eye for a pass, and I think he's a clever player. And look, he's only a kid, he's in the 18, but that was the Curtis Jones issue 2 years ago. Was off the ball, he didn't do enough. His lazy work. I actually think defensively, Curtis Jones got a lot better. I mean, we saw him in the Southampton away game. He played that left side role really, really well. A little bit Genie-esque. If he can do that on a consistent basis, Jones will get lots of minutes. I think he's already up to 70 appearances now for Liverpool, which
I think
he's only 21.
Since Oxlade-Chamberlain last season, like they had similar minutes, around 1,500 minutes each.
Yeah, I think the big thing was he's just hit a bit of forms when he got that detached retina, wasn't it? Which was it takes a long time to come up from a detached retina, which is odd. It's a hard injury to get. Whereas Chamberlain was a lot of times on the bench and didn't even get anywhere near the starting 11.
Yeah, I do think his chapter's closing this summer, and I do think even if you get like 10 million for him, I think that's the magic number.
Yeah, I think he might.
And then he'll be gone.
I think he might be right. I mean, he's just got but we'll see. John was saying, whatever happens, we need to sign a couple of midfielders over the next couple of years. Probably true. We've signed one midfielder in 4 years. That's mental. It's wait, depends how you look. Depends how you look at it. Henderson. Because when we had Henderson, Fabinho, Wijnaldum, Milner a few years ago, there wasn't that sort of robustness worked for us. Slowly brought in the Thiago, and then he's promoted youth in Jones and Ellis, and obviously now we've added Carvalho. Carvalho's interesting. Your customer's a forward. I mean, I know the press says he's a forward, but he's more of a midfield number 10 for me.
I think Callum said it. Like he'll play left wing behind Diaz, and I think that's where he'll play probably majority in the front three positions this season, and then maybe once he beds himself in, then we might see him, mold him into that Coutinho-esque left side of that three.
So he's going to piss off the Barcelona three. Is what you're telling me?
No. Minus that part, but we're going to get the Coutinho part.
Yeah. Listen, with the likes of Calvin Ramsey and Carvalho, I don't really know what to expect from him in terms of. I've seen bits of Carvalho play. Look, he looks really talented. Looks an exciting young player, but he's still 19. So I'm a bit like, I'm not putting all my hopes on it. I'm not putting all my
pressure.
No, the one who will have the pressure on it will be Nunes because he's £65 million. He's a number 9, which parts of our company has been crying out for a while. So we'll see. But he's 20.
He hits the ground running.
Yeah, he's young. He's 22. He's played quite a bit of football.
Today, Chris.
Oh, he's 23 now. Sorry.
Yeah,
he's past it now, and he's 23.
Oh yeah, he's done. Sell him.
Sell him now. Yeah, no good. No goals to get to 23. So
he's had no goals, and he's already had a birthday already.
Outrageous. Not score. Didn't score for Liverpool until he was 23. Outrageous. So I was asking here: can City be sanctioned the same way Chelsea was? I'm not sure what that comment's about. If you want to elaborate on that, then
lawyers. No way.
That's probably not what it is. So, anything else you want to add, mate, before we get any more out of chat? We've done an hour. We've been very well behaved.
I don't think there's been much apart from the transfers. Nothing massive has happened. No.
Well, not in the world of football. I mean, outside the world of football, we did hit our Féileacáin target of 10,000. 10,000. I think it was last night, Gavin, which is amazing news. Thank you to everybody who donated, and if you didn't donate and you shared it, thank you very much. Big shout out to Gav. He doesn't like getting praised, so I'll get told off for this later. But fair play to him. He always gets behind these causes, and he really gets these things going. So look, if you don't know, Féileacáin details are in the description below. If you can still give if you want to. We can go for more. But listen, that's great news. That getting £10,000 for Féileacáin, that'll do them the world of good and make a really big difference. So thank you very much from all of us there at Daytrippers for everyone who donated and shared. That's really, really appreciated.
Absolutely.
Cool. Right. Give the chat 5 minutes. Any random questions? Doesn't have to be sport. We can do random ones as well.
Yeah.
Bit of fun, eh?
Even if someone asks me when's my channel, when's the mess getting its own channel? Because that got asked last week. I tried to not crap myself laughing. I'll be
honest. That mess seems to be getting closer. So either you're adding more to it, or it's going to take over at some point.
Nothing's gotten closer. Nothing's gotten closer. I would have had my green screen up, but on StreamYard it wouldn't cover all of me, and you would have seen the mess still. So
part of things that would have been funnier. It's like I've tried to hide it, but not quite.
Yeah, I might do it next week. If I don't have the dog in the room with me, then I might do it.
I don't know. Dogs were the best bit.
I know. Though it may be the best bit, but when you're trying to settle him down as well, but he's settled down. He's lying down now, so typical. He settles down, and it's right near the end.
Yes, Laura's put, are you letting Red Steve have free run questions? I will let Red Steve have free run questions, but he better get his question quickly. I've not known the chat to be this quiet. We're normally very, very chatty.
Yeah.
So
I'm just trying to see what else has happened in the world of sport.
Is it Wimbledon starts? Oh, Wimbledon starts next week, doesn't it?
Yes, Wimbledon starts. Yes, that's true.
Oh, you got Bonkers also. Do you like a crisp sandwich?
No.
I don't mind. You don't. Oh, mate, you just got to try harder. Can't be a Chris sandwich.
Yeah, Wimbledon.
No.
It's
Okay,
gonna be
so
interesting.
So for Bonkers, me, it's a yes. For Luke, it's a no, which is very disappointing.
Nope.
Luke, if they reshot, if they reshot the end of Game of Thrones, would you go back and reshoot your? Would you go back and reshoot your scenes?
Which scenes? I've not watched Game of Thrones
Oh no, I feel like that was a really good job by Red Steve. Unfortunately, neither of us have watched it, so it's kind of
at all. The only thing I watched was the end finale, and I said to my partner, I was like, "That's the end of Game of Thrones," and she was like, "Yes." I was like, "My goodness, that looked rubbish," and I've never even seen it.
I saw the fallout. I saw the fallout, and it was like, oof. Someone's just put Australia won the World Cup of Darts, which is always nice to know. There you go. Jake's got a question. What should we do with Salah? Play him.
Give him what he wants. No jokes. Jokes. That's not a joke. Give him what he wants.
My opinion, it's set in stone. He'll just play the season out, and we'll wave him goodbye in the summer. Next summer, not this summer.
It looks like it goes for free, but I'm still holding out hope that he's going to drop his demands, because I don't see us dropping. I think he's going to find out that when no one comes in from this summer, and he's going to look around Europe and go, yeah, there's nowhere else. I think he'll sign.
Unless he's already spoke to the club he wants to go to.
Yeah, true. But I do not want to see him in the Premier League next season if it isn't for Liverpool.
Now, this is the sort of question I like to hear. What's your go-to fruit to use as a weapon? Apparently, banana is the go-to fruit for the criminal pedigree guns. Let's go. So, what's your go-to weapon?
Go-to weapon? Fruit?
I mean, if you threw a pineapple or something, that'd do some damage. It hurts as well.
Oh, yeah, heavy and prickly. Pineapple pretty.
Pineapple prickly. I mean, to us, it's not funny. You can't conceal it though. That's any problem. But
yeah,
I'm gonna go with pineapple
because you can get some momentum when you hit someone with it.
So we've got pineapple.
It's gonna hurt as well.
Oh, Laura Duffy's got a watermelon. I mean, that's got more heft. More heft. That'll probably give you a concussion, but it wouldn't spike you. So
No. Yeah, that's true.
So there you go. See, that's the sort of questions we like.
Apple is the best grenade. You can just pull the stem.
Pull the stem.
Oh, that's a great one. Oh, that's a great one.
Yeah, that'll be good. I don't think we're going to top that. So I think comment of the night we'll give that to was that Red Steve's? No, it's Avo. Avo gets a comment of the night with what fruit would you use as a weapon? Because to be honest, that's a sort of random question I quite like. We should do that one night. Just leave it open to the chat to ask us loads of random questions.
Yes.
If they're on sport, that's a bit of a bonus.
Absolutely.
Cool. Yeah. So for the rest of the week, Gavin the guys will be back on Sunday with Fatback 4. Then it'd be and then just keep your bell notification on because there will be shows during the week, but we're now in the realms of no football, no preseason, so I'm sure there'll be more
quizzes,
drafts. I watched the draft on Wednesday; it was brilliant. Really, really funny. Kev got the best draw though. It just kept getting like, I'll get Spain, I'll get Holland. I was like, what's going on here?
Kev rigged it. That's why.
Kev rigged it. Yeah. Keith going full heel on everyone and winding everyone up. Which I'll be honest, that's Keith is at his best in these drafts. He just goes full heel and just plays mind games with everyone. He's brilliant. And then me, and hopefully Kev will be back on Friday. We'll do a bit more Sports Unplugged. I'll let you know how the England game went on for the women, what it's like being in Old Trafford, but it's not watching Man United, so it's probably all right.
Yeah, just hopefully you don't get wet from this leaking roof.
Well, yeah, I will check the roof's status and I will feedback to see how bad it is. I mean, hopefully it won't rain. That'd be quite nice.
Yeah.
I also need to book a car park because I've realised I forgot. So it's some parking out on Tuesday. It's going to be an interesting try to park in Manchester, isn't it? God.
Yeah.
So until then, listen, guys, thanks for watching. Stay tuned, and we'll see you guys very, very soon.